That's fair. And I think it leads into our next moment so well.
It does.
Pretty much goes hand in hand. But it is the Deshaun Watson thing. I'm not going to get into what he did. If you have no clue what's happening with Deshaun Watson, like, you're under a rock. Like, this is fucking everywhere.
Literally go and Google and get your fucking information.
Yeah, like, if I have to teach you what happened, I don't know what you've been doing. So, whatever. I think there's a lot of, I personally think, like, this dude should not be in the NFL. Like, this dude should be banned from playing in the NFL. And you can say a number of things. You can, I've heard it all, like, oh, he hasn't been charged. This is impossible to criminally charge and prove someone has done this. But do I believe that 30 women came together to solely take down this one man who hasn't played a full season since 2018? No, I truly do not believe that. That's psychotic. This guy's barely played, and we've seen him play for 3 weeks. He's not Tom Brady. He's really doesn't look like he's anything special at this moment. I think we're acting like this is a dude who's better than he is because a dumb organization gave him the dumbest contract I think I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, he got, $250 million guaranteed. I haven't seen him play a snap in 3 years. What are you doing? And I've heard, because I know when they went and played Houston, his first game back, there were some of the women were in a box, like, watching the game. And I heard the argument, why would they be there if he did that to them? Why wouldn't they never want to see him? And I think that's a main argument that's coming out, to be like, oh, they're lying. But I'm not in a position, no one's in a position to decide what a woman or a victim wants to do in that exact moment when it comes to facing or being in the same place as, their attacker. Like, that's not our place. Maybe they want to make a statement, whatever it might be. I don't think that's hard evidence that they're lying, which I've seen come out 100 times from ignorant men for the most part. Okay. And third, he's not going to be in a program to get better, and the Browns aren't going to come out with statements saying he's progressing if there's nothing for him to progress from in terms of the situation. Clearly something happened if he's progressing with his character, whatever it might be. So, to me, those are all signs that this actually happened. Whether it was one woman, whether it was 30 women, it doesn't matter. He's disgusting. He should not be playing in the NFL. I understand he could never be criminally charged for most of these things, but he should not be playing in the NFL. This was another opportunity for the NFL to do something right, and 11 games is not doing something right.
11 games and what, a $5 million fine? And how much money did he just get guaranteed? Yeah.
Yeah. A buttload.
Yeah. Yeah. I just think, and I could talk about this for hours, but I think
we will not be doing that.
No. But I think that, again, it showcases like a larger issue within our society and within the U.S. And the fact that, like, again, I think that one woman speaking out should be enough, but there's literally 24 or however many.
Like 30, I don't know.
At this point.
Too many to count.
That should be plenty. There's a point in time where things aren't a fucking coincidence anymore. And the fact that all these women have come together to come out, and like, this is not, in any regard, whether you're a woman or just a victim of sexual assault, this is not an easy thing to come out and like speak about, especially against your attacker, because of how America views it and our society views sexual assault and all of those different things. And again, do your research on how this specific topic has been handled within the court system within the US, and it's absolutely atrocious. And this is why people don't come forward and talk about this stuff. And again, it specifically affects women. And the fact that now you have somebody in a large platform in playing in the biggest sports league in the US, and he's doing nothing. Like, again, okay, you were punished 11 games. Like, come on. $5 million, that's a drop in the bucket to that man. Whereas those women probably have a lifetime filled with trauma. So that does not equate to anything. And then you could have led by an example, and it just could have been so different. And it's so unfortunate that it's not. And the NFL's audience is how much men. They have a huge target market of it being men. And you're showing men that, like, this is okay. You're showing young men that this is okay. Like, oh, I'm literally watching this man who had sexual misconduct, all the charges, and he's still a star quarterback in the NFL.
Dude, they suspend people for longer for smoking weed or gambling. Like, I don't...
And give them a higher fine.
Right. Exactly. I cannot figure out how people are rooting for this team. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I understand if it's been your lifelong team. Like, I get all that. This, to me, if you have a mom, you have a wife, a daughter, a sister, a cousin,
female
a friend,
friends,
a teacher, you know, anybody, like, what are you doing? What are you saying to the women in your life that, oh, just because you can't prove that happened means it didn't happen and this dude should be able to do whatever he wants? That's what you're saying to those women. Like, find a new team. Like, grow up. I don't know what to say. Like, I put something on my Instagram story a few weeks ago. I was like, do you like Deshaun Watson or do you hate Deshaun Watson? Literally every single person except for one dude from my bumfuck nowhere hometown said that they hated him. And a girl I went to high school with I grew up in Ohio, so a lot of people were Browns fans. She was a really big Browns fan. She was like, I'm not watching this team until he's off this team. I'm like, I think that's the exact way to go about it if you're a Cleveland Browns fan. I don't know how you can do it. I think it's disgusting. It's sick. And I know if the Cowboys had picked him up, I would have been gone. Like,
yeah, and again, the Giants have been my team for my entire life. And if this happened to the Giants, I'm done. Like, and I would not root for that team or watch a single fucking down until he's off of my team. Like, it's just absolutely inexcusable. And the argument that I didn't even know that was an argument, like, oh, the girls were in a box watching a game. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, that is not proof that he didn't have sexual, like, that they weren't sexually assaulted. And again, like, it's just crazy. Like, it just goes into such a larger issue of how we view men and women in our society, and women's voices and thoughts and opinions and actions are always fucking questioned. But yet when men do something, it's just like, nah, well, he's a guy, so it's okay. Like, that's not how it should be.
Right. And I think people are so predispositioned to be like, he wasn't proven guilty in a court of law, so therefore
proven guilty.
He must not be guilty. And I understand that that's the way things work in America, because if it didn't, then people would be going to jail for things they didn't do all of the time. So I understand he's not going to get criminally charged. I understand why he can't get criminally charged, because there's no evidence. But there's also no evidence that he did not do it. So for you to say that you believe one man because he throws a football for your favorite team over 30 women you don't know, I think that says a lot about your character, in my opinion. And if all 30 women are lying, and they can prove all 30 women are lying, then cool, fuck me, I'm wrong, throw them all in jail for life, I don't care. Like, but there's no way that's true. That's fucking dumb.
It's also, again, a lack of education, because, again, go and search the history of sexual misconduct, sexual assault, all of the things in the U.S. And it's very hard to charge them for these things because of the way the system is set up, and because these women don't come forward, or they don't come forward soon enough for these things to be proven, because they are scared, because that is the way we have made it, because of things like this. Because now these women from certain people are like, oh, they're crazy. They're trying to expose him, like take his money. They're not getting anything. They're literally not getting anything. So it makes no sense why. And again, maybe there are cases where that's a thing. And that's unfortunate. But you can't just say, like, oh, this is how it, like, you can't, when there's cases of that, it doesn't account for everything. Like, it's not a generalization. Like, oh, if a woman ever accuses a man of this who's famous or has money, they're just trying to get his money. They're just trying to get his fame. They're just trying to take him down. Like, that's not evidence that it wasn't proof. And again, it's up to 30 women now.
There's also just
insane.
To say that the whole intention was to grab 30 women, be like, put your life, put your career on the line, to take down Deshaun Watson of all people. Like, I'm sorry, he's not that great. Like, it's not like throwing 30 women at being like Tom Brady sexually assault. Like, it's not the same.
Yeah.
Like, in my opinion.
And nobody wants to go through this. Like, this is just a whole nother trauma in itself.
Plus, there's no other case you can look at in sports to be like, yeah, we're going to take this guy down. Who's ever went down for this? What professional athlete of that caliber has ever went down for this? None. So the likelihood of it was impossible. As we saw, he didn't go down. And now all these women are getting is, a bunch of shit from some ignorant men who think that the United States justice system is the end-all be-all of decisions. So,
yeah, I will not. This is enemy number one, the Cleveland Browns, and I will never be rooting for this team or supporting them. Or I think it's crazy that it's just very unfortunate, and I think that I enjoy the videos of him getting screamed at when he goes to opposing teams and them calling him names, because in my opinion, he deserves it.
I agree. He's gross. And I pretty much just extensively root against the Browns at this point.
Yeah, 100%. And I even, I feel like the NFL is being very intentional with his coverage, too, because I haven't seen him anywhere, or even the Cleveland Browns as a whole anywhere. And I wonder why.
Shocking.
Disgusting. So, very unfortunate moments in the NFL, and I will continue to be watching these moments very closely. And I think the part that's the most sad, again, is that this is the biggest sports league in the U.S., and they could have really set an example for not only sports and sports organizations, but for the entire country. And instead, they're not doing shit.
Right. Gotta keep an eye out, I guess. See what happens next.
Always.